Hi, this is Larry with Growing Tomato Central. We're going to look at building the cages to support your tomato plants. You're going to have some really big tomato plants with a lot of weight on them because we're going to have a lot of tomatoes. And so you got to have a strong support to support those tomato plants. I like to have my tomatoes in cages for several reasons. One, it keeps the tomatoes off the ground where they would rot. Also, I just like to be able to pick the tomatoes off up above, and some research has shown that tomatoes that are up in the air, more exposed to sunlight, have a higher content of vitamin C. So very good reasons to cage or support your tomato plants, get them off the ground. I like to use concrete reinforcing wire that you can get at any home improvement store. It comes in rolls of 100 feet to some and less, and it's really good for a strong support cage. Plus it'll last a long time. And you just put it out, and then when you're done with it for the season, you put it away and you keep using it for a long time. So I like to make my cages 3 feet wide, and then the wire itself is 5 feet tall, and also put little spikes at the bottom, and that helps to keep it in the ground. We'll also stake it down a little bit too, because the wind will knock it over. But so we're going to show you how to make these cages. Now to start with, we start with the roll. This is one that's cut down already, but a roll of the concrete reinforcing wire. So we're going to show you how to cut it down and create the cage. Alright, so now we got our roll of wire. What we're going to do is roll it out, and we're going to make our 3 feet wide cage. Now to get 3 feet wide with this concrete reinforcing wire, you need to have 20 squares. Now each square is about 5 inches or so, or 6 inches, so it'll come out to a 3 feet circle. So we're going to roll this out, and it's a good idea to have somebody help you with this wire. So I got my son helping me here. So we're going to roll this out like this, and then we're going to count out 20 squares. Okay, we're ready to start cutting. We've rolled out the wire, and we've counted 20 blocks over, and then we're going to start cutting on that 20th block. Now what we want to do is cut right before this line on the 20th block, and that way we'll have this end open, which will create a little hook that will then attach to the other side of the cage, which will keep it all together. So James, if you would go ahead and cut. Now to cut this wire, you're going to need some strong wire cutters or bolt cutters, because it is pretty tough to cut. So you just got to go down the line and cut it all down the line. Okay, so we got the ends cut now, and you see the little end that we're going to use as a hook. Now what we want to do is create the spikes down at the end that'll hold it in the ground. So what we do is we cut off this bottom edge right here, and then we'll create that all the way down, and it'll create our spikes. So James, you want to go and start cutting that? Okay, now we cut the bottoms off, and so we have our spikes down at the bottoms, and we have our hooks here on the side. And what we're going to do is just kind of roll it up into a circle, and then we're going to take these and just hook them down like that, and it keeps the cage nice and secure. So we have all the hooks over. That'll keep the cage nice and secure. We have our spikes at the bottom. We just stand it up. There we have it. 3 feet cage, nice and secure. We'll just put it in the ground, and we're ready to put it around our tomato plant.